Good day, University City, and welcome to UC Talks, a hyperlocal podcast that features conversations, interviews, and news of importance for University City. My name is Gemma Samala, and I'm the editor of the University City Community Association's newsletter. This podcast is brought to you by the University City Community Association, also known as UCCA, and made possible through a grant from the County of San Diego. Today, we are talking to Scott Slater, who's owner of Spitfire Tacos and Head Lettuce here in the UTC area, and who have been severely impacted by the COVID-19 dining stay-at-home orders guidelines, yet they're turning around the situation and really doing some good for the community and for our frontline healthcare workers. And Scott, why don't you go ahead and talk about your meal donations and the San Diego Ready Meal Fund?
Yeah, thanks, Gemma. We started this program the last week of March. March 19th, I believe, was the stay-at-home order with Governor Newsom. And as you imagine, how everybody realizes how restaurants have been severely impacted by the stay-at-home orders and the virus itself. So my wife and I, Ty, we decided to pivot our business and raise money to feed frontline workers, assisted living home nurses, and individual families across San Diego County that might be in need of food who either lost their work or impacted on COVID as well. So we started the San Diego Ready Made Meals Fund, which I think we might be changing the name soon, just to have a happier name. But, we're thinking bowls and burritos for heroes, but we haven't decided. I mean, the idea is that we've done such a great job so far raising money. We've raised over $50,000 already.
That's great. And you guys are matching.
Correct.
Donated, right?
So that's over $100,000 worth of food that we're donating. We've already donated over $40,000 worth of food so far, and I think we're on April 25th. It's hard to tell what day it is. But yeah, this is something that we've done a good job with fundraising. We've provided some really excellent food for the workers, and we feel this could be not only something that we can do during this crisis, but something that could hopefully survive past and continue serving the community.
That's great. That's a great idea. And right now it's people can go on your website and find the link, which is the websites. Well, you've got two websites for the two restaurants. You've got spitfiretacos.com and theheadlettuce.com website. So people can go on there, find the link, and make a donation. And so when this all happened, you know, what was the impetus for getting you to do this?
Again, we had to pivot the business. We're in the UTC area, and if you live in University City, we have a lot of office workers here, and us being in that region's center that's surrounded by all the high rises, our business, once everybody worked from home, our business dropped 80% overnight. Oh, wow. So we had to think of where are the needs in our community, right? And being in University City, we also have a high population of medical workers. Right. And some
hospitals around here too.
Hospitals, medical workers, all sorts of, whatever it is, those are the people who are still working.
Right.
And they were still coming into our restaurant, as seldom as that may be, but they were still tired of eating out of the vending machines or in the commissaries at the hospitals.
Right.
And they were very thankful that we were still open and serving the community. So we thought, hey, instead of waiting for everybody to come to us, let's come to them. Mm-hmm. And understanding that, everybody's under pressure right now. We have a lot of people who are well off and able to serve the community. So we started the fund, mm-hmm. and we decided let's collect money from the community, and we'll come to them and we'll bring food to them so they can stay at work and continue serving the community and hopefully flatten this curve so we can all get back to work.
That's great. That's a great idea. And it's been a pretty popular program. I mean, how many hospitals and meals do you currently deliver now?
So last week we were a little over our heads. We did over 1,000 meals.
Wow.
So we're probably going to taper it down to about 800 a week. Okay. We wouldn't be able to do it without fantastic volunteers like yourself who are able to drop off a few days a week so we can stay at the restaurant and prepare for the next shift. Uh-huh. But we've been able to employ our staff, whereas we wouldn't otherwise, and we're going to continue doing 800 to 1,000 meals today. I'm at the restaurant. If you tell them in my corner
Right.
office, we're preparing 208 individual meals for 17 families across San Diego County, and we have a woman who gathered a small army, and we're delivering from Bonita all the way down to National City and Ramona, families who are unable to go out and get meals for themselves.
And how do you find the names of these families? Are they through a program or?
So she's Luana Concepcion. She's the woman who finds these families. She contacted us through a mutual friend, Facebook, and I let her find the families. And the first weekend, Ty and I drove all across the county, and we dropped off those meals. And now she's been able, not only is she able to garner new families that need help right now, which is hard to find, but she has a lot of people in her network that are able to deliver for us also.
That's great. It's nice to see really all of San Diego coming together to help everybody out. Yeah. And now, speaking of which, you said you've been able to keep all your workers employed, which is great. And so I know we were on a call earlier with Councilwoman Barbara Bree with small businesses. And so how's that been in the business in total of people keeping their doors open, trying to find funding, loans, just to keep everybody employed, or just to stay open till when everybody can open?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you want me to paint this picture, but
yeah, well, tell it like it is. Yeah.
I mean, we had that conversation with Councilman Brian. Nothing positive has happened since then. We're still, as restaurants, I haven't even gotten an email back about the San Diego Relief Fund. I put in my application the day of, and I have one colleague that got a denial letter. I haven't even heard back. I've written my own emails with no responses. Mm-hmm. So from my perspective, the city, they said they did something, and we haven't seen any response. As far as the federal government is concerned, we all know what happened with the PPP loans.
Right.
That got dried up with less than a week. I did get approved for that, but I haven't gotten approved, but I still haven't seen the funding yet.
Okay.
And there's no organization. So.
And then did they say, have you heard like how soon you would get the money?
They said 10 days. That was 10 days ago.
Okay.
And everything is so chaotic right now, and there's nobody knows what to expect. I mean, so we get the money, and they tell us that we need to spend it on certain things, and if we don't, it's not forgivable. But at the same time, it says that you can spend it on employment, rent and utilities, loan interest, and payroll, obviously. But if you don't fully employ your staff from pre-COVID by June 30th, then it's not forgivable. It doesn't say what percentage, but I can tell you there's not one restaurant in America that's going to be able to fully employ their staff by June 30th.
Right.
The landscape of the restaurant industry is going to be completely different. Until we get his vaccine, you're not going to see bars at restaurants anymore. Mm-hmm. If we're going to have to sit 6 feet away from each other, and people wearing masks and gloves, our industry will not look the same. So,
and what have you heard from other restaurant owners? What are they saying?
We're terrified.
Yeah,
we're absolutely terrified. Mm-hmm. I blossomed my first business, Slater's 50/50, out of the last recession. I was lucky to take advantage of some great lease rates, and there was definitely a switch, almost a renaissance of restaurants where pre-recession they were very chain-like restaurants, and afterwards we had this renaissance of farm to fork and awesome independent restaurants. Where now after this, there's definitely going to be a new switch of what we're used to as far as restaurants are concerned, and nobody knows what that's going to look like.
Yeah. Do you think the chain restaurants are doing better in this current situation than the independents?
Well, large businesses in general are going to be able to absorb this.
Right.
Independent, whatever business that you're in, whether it's a restaurant or retail or service, independent operators won't have the capabilities of absorbing a long time recession or depression, whereas large businesses will be able to do that. So no matter how much you want to focus on bailouts or handouts or however you want to say it, independent operators are always going to be at a disadvantage. So there's no easy answer, because again, once the lockdown's up, we still don't know what that looks like. We don't know if we're going to have to keep social distancing for as long as we have this, before we have a vaccine, or are we just going to flatten the curve and just say, hey, it's a free-for-all and we'll see what happens. But there's always going to be a section of the population who aren't going to be willing to go into a retail outlet. They're not going to be willing to go into a restaurant. They're not going to be willing to go to a movie theater. They're not going to take the middle seat in an airplane.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a permanent stain that we just put on our population, where people aren't going to trust because of what just happened. So how are we going to respond? How are we going to respond to that? Who knows? It's terrifying to imagine when you're in a business that relies on social interaction, you're taking that away from it.
I know, I'm the same way. I mean, it's kind of like, well, when everything opens up, are we really going to go to the movie theater? Are we going to go to a concert again? All these really, places where people are really close together. So it's,
I will. I can't wait to. But I spoke to my father over Zoom last night, and they're washing every grocery that they get from the grocery store with soap and water before they bring it in the house.
Wow.
And
yeah.
There's going to be a portion of the population that are just going to do that. There's nothing we can do to force them not to.
Yeah. I know we have been talking about in our little circles, like, which restaurant are we going to go to first when everything opens up? So
yeah,
we've been talking about that.
Good. We need more people like you.
Right. Restaurants I want to go back to, that's for sure. And so, so as far as trying to help the small independents like yourself, kind of stay in business, I mean, right now is a good time to buy gift certificates for the future when things open up, because, if you can, just buy even, just like little $10, $20 gift certificates all helps out, for the future, and just save them up. And then when everything opens up, everybody can go. And that way we could keep all you guys open. We would like to keep our little independent local places open, to go to. We like that here in University City, our little neighborhood places. So, so let's go back. You mentioned real quickly about Slater's 50/50. And so people may not know, you're the original Slater for Slater's 50/50. And if you don't know about this burger, it's 50% bacon and 50% beef. And it was the one here in San Diego that first opened up was the one in Liberty Station. And those were great burgers. Even back then, I remember that you guys, when you first opened, help support our community for donations to Educate Taster Triangular auction and everything. And so that was great. So you guys have always been, I felt, involved with the community that you're in. Yeah, and so I want to go back and ask you, because I grew up there. Your first restaurant was in Anaheim Hills.
Yeah.
So I grew up in Anaheim Hills, went to
Canyon
High School. Yeah. And so what made you decide there?
It had nothing to do with Anaheim Hills.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. I said, are you, alum of mine, current alum?
No, I was 27.
Uh-huh.
And I owned a chain of hot dog stands outside of Home Depot.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, the recession hit and people stopped going to Home Depot, so I needed a change of vocation. So my old partner actually went into the commercial dishwashing business.
Okay.
And around that time, just like now, the restaurant landscape became a ghost town, and there were a lot of opportunities to take over fully fixturized restaurants for very cheap. And that one restaurant that was in Anaheim Hills was, I mean, everything from the glassware, plates, napkins, silverware, equipment, everything. It cost me next to nothing to take over that restaurant.
Oh, okay.
So it was out of, I was young, I didn't have a lot of money, and I had an opportunity to start a new restaurant with not a lot of startup. So I did it. And
that's good. And you did go to San Diego State, right?
Yep, I did.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And so, so she's not here right now, but you did, eventually you met your wife, Ty, and you guys started these restaurants. And was she a big influence in the kind of menu that you guys were having?
Oh yeah, more so than me, especially the head lettuce side.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
yeah, so we sold Slater's 50/50 in 2017,
Mm-hmm.
and we took literally the day that we got married, the business closed.
Oh,
So
okay.
we took a nice honeymoon right afterwards, and one of our first stops was in Ireland, and there was a chopped salad place in Ireland, and we're just like line outside the door, and we're like, this is such a great idea.
Uh-huh.
And we sat in the park and ate this Italian chopped salad, and we're like, man, this is so easy.
Yeah.
And nobody's doing it in San Diego. There's a couple in New York, but nobody's doing it in San Diego. So she loves chopped salads, and she loves shredded meat for tacos. So, and I like meat on the trompos or the spits. So
Yeah.
it was definitely a collaboration between the two, getting these two concepts open.
I will say I do love your use of tater tots.
That's what I'm having for breakfast.
Yeah, but they're great in the burritos and everything too, you know, and you've got those tater tot bowls, your nachos or
nachos, like tater tot nachos.
Right, there you go. So I love that stuff. Nice, good comfort food right there.
Yeah, thanks.
And so, okay, so you've opened up these restaurants, and you just opened up these restaurants, what, like in November or something like that?
Yeah, so not the most opportune time to open up a restaurant right now, so.
Yeah, but you're doing well, I feel, you know, and so I'm sure you had some other restaurants in the works. I think you had there was like a Skydeck Bar or something.
Yeah, we're opening up a cocktail bar at the Skydeck in Del Mar.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, that construction's been delayed a little bit because of the situation. But,
right.
So that project, it's 8 full service restaurants.
Oh, okay.
It's like a food hall, but instead of takeout restaurants, they're full service restaurants. And then in the center, there'll be a cocktail bar that myself and my partner Guillaume, who owns a Le Parfait French bakery. So him and I partnered up, and we'll be doing that cocktail bar. Okay.
Are there any other restaurants in the works or other concepts you've been thinking about?
There might have been, but right now we gotta right now we gotta it's all about survival right now.
Yeah.
And,
yeah.
I'm working on this. I'm working on that bar project, and I might backpedal a little bit and help out the existing Slater's 50/50 franchise owners and make sure that they can hopefully crawl out of this too, because it still has my name on it.
Yeah, and then for now, so you guys are still, obviously still delivering all these meals to healthcare workers and families that in need, and so how much longer do you think you have funds for to keep going?
Well, like I said, I want to change the name. We're going to get a logo. We're going to get a website. I think this can be a permanent fixture in the restaurants.
Okay.
It's like what we did with Slater's. We had a charity that we worked with every single individual Slater's 50/50 in whatever community that we were in, along with any miscellaneous ones that opportunities that we can have. So having a branded type charity that we can commit to and have to be a permanent fixture of the restaurant is something that I've always loved to do. And I think this is something positive that can come out of this is if we can have this connected with our brands, I think there's some real legs and an opportunity to move forward with it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. And so thanks to Scott Slater for joining me today. And remember, you're owners of Spitfire Tacos and Head Lettuce. Websites are spitfiretacos.com and headlettuce.com, located in the Regents Park Center. So that is at Regents Road and Regents Park Row, right there. And so if you know where Regents Pizza is, it's in that same little shopping center right there. And once again, this podcast is brought to you by the University City Community Association and made possible through a grant from the County of San Diego. For more information about UCCA, including membership, and to view our monthly newsletter, go to our website at universitycitynews.org. And remember to follow UCCA on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks again, and have a nice day. And remember, University City, more than just a neighborhood.